In the video that you are about to watch, you will learn how I, as an e-commerce advertiser, help my client portfolio conduct research on the current market situation and their ideal customer profile, then take that research that we have conducted and craft an offer that actually allows us to scale our advertising efforts and not hit that glass ceiling that most e-commerce stores essentially experience. You will learn how you can craft code-friendly offers that give you an unfair advantage in the marketplace, and most importantly, actually allows you to ramp up your volume, because the most foundational part of actually scaling volume is having an offer that actually appeals to a large total addressable market. You will see client examples for clients of mine. You will see the SOPs that I use, cheat sheets that I use, get internal resources that I use myself. All in all, this is the exact process that you need to essentially conduct in order to craft offers that are cold friendly and can target cold audiences. And this is essentially also just a snapshot of my entire master thesis. So if you like this brief video, I'll also make sure to link my entire 1 hour master thesis in the description. That is my entire growth process for e-commerce stores. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and again, I will link my master thesis in the description. Enjoy. Now, part number 1 of this master thesis, and also without a doubt the most essential part of this thesis, is foundation and current market situation, because your advertising / marketing should be structured and planned based on the market you are trying to appeal to. Therefore, as an e-commerce business aiming to succeed with paid advertising, we must, and I have to state this clearly, we must have a deep understanding of your market in order to profit from our advertising efforts. We need to quite practically understand, firstly, who our target audience is, which includes everything such as demographic, mass desire, level of sophistication, job, habits, thoughts, needs, mental models, wants, biological triggers, and so on. We need to understand them better than they understand themselves. And next, we need to essentially also understand the other e-commerce businesses that we are competing against, because our competitors shape the market, as well as how they operate and try to appeal to the same target audience as we are doing. So that is, who are my customers? Which brands are they? How do they frame their offers? What's the perceived value of the offers? What price point do they represent? What is their funnel looking like? What access channels do they use? Which angles do they use? Have my competitors reached first purchase profitability? And so on. Now, once we have gained a deep understanding of our target audience and our competitors, it's essential that we take a step back and look at the historical development of the market and its symptoms to understand where we are in the current market cycle. As you can see here, I have a screenshot of how the market cycle model looks, and we have 4 stages that occur throughout history. We have accumulation, where early adopters essentially get in and build momentum, as you can see here, and that is right after the recession. Then we have the expansion, where mass adoption happens and early adopters scale. Then we have the peak, and that is the tipping point where the early adopters get out, and you can also sort of say that's the bubble where it's about to burst out, and essentially where the early adopters get out. And last, we have the recession, where decline with mass dropout happens. If we don't have an understanding of where we are in the current market cycle as an e-commerce business trying to scale our paid advertising efforts profitably on our front end, we will have a harder time adapting to the broader market trends. It's especially important to focus on the market cycle as you progress in the scaling phase with an increasing ad spend, as this is where the macroeconomy starts to have an impact. These 4 stages repeat throughout economic history. However, their frequency, scope, and effect depend on economic variables such as inflation, interest rates, unemployment rates, and so on. But here's a brief overview of where we stand at this moment, which is December Q4 going into 2025. As you can see, we have the consumer sentiment index declining, and we also have the US e-commerce growth rate declining. We had the bubble, as you can see here, in 2020, just around Corona, but since then just declining. And so reasons for that is obviously recession, the war in the Ukraine and Russia, and also the war in Gaza and Israel, inflation, and lower purchasing rate are stressing almost everyone and forcing adaptation. It's the survival of the fittest. Those who can still grow in a sustainable and profitable way by the end of 2024 and going into 2025 will always have the advantage. This means that you, as an e-commerce owner, are faced with a crucial decision. In order to survive this market cycle, you can either observe from the guideline, not knowing which lever to pull in order to work capital efficiently, which will slowly lead to your business losing momentum and your competitors gradually stealing your market share. Eventually, this will mean that your e-commerce business will slowly be outcompeted by rivals. Or you can seize this opportunity to eliminate all necessary fat from your business, increase both revenue and profitability by adapting to the market, innovating and leveraging technology such as AI, and this will essentially ensure that your business thrives even in this challenging economy and allows you to overtake your competitors, dominate your market, and achieve escape velocity as the owner of the company. And if you are still following along, I assume you lean towards option number two, which is seizing the opportunity that lies right in front of you right now. And if that's correct, that is essentially where core thesis leveraging the blue ocean strategy becomes relevant, because in order for you as an e-commerce business to scale your paid advertising with front-end profitability in the current market, it requires you to leverage the blue ocean strategy and what I call profit market fit 2.0, especially in the more challenging market that we find ourselves in today. And in practical terms, the blue ocean strategy is about constantly pursuing a combination of differentiation and low costs to open a new market segment and capitalize on new demand. It's about creating and exploiting new market segments without competitors, which means that your competitors isn't relevant. But the question then becomes, well, how do we do that? And that's where what I call product market fit 2.0 comes into play. So this is where we are going to use the product market fit 2.0, and the product market fit 2.0 model is essentially a way for you as an advertiser to understand how you need to leverage the narrative behind your advertising to ensure you don't reach a ceiling. As you can see here, most advertisers, they meet a glass ceiling at their basic product market fit, which essentially doesn't allow them to scale further. But if you enable product market fit 2.0, you'll not see this specific glass ceiling that most people experience. You essentially need to align the narrative behind your advertising to ensure it resonates with a value proposition that your target audience can relate to, thereby ensuring that you, as an advertiser, vibrate on the same frequency as your audience. This happens during the problem solution fit and problem market fit, product market fit, where you can see the focus is validated learnings. Then, to ensure that you can align the narrative behind your advertising, you essentially once again need to understand your core audience and the experience they have with similar providers and products on the market. An important detail to remember is that hitting the same narrative as your target audience is something that happens outside of your ads manager, not inside of it. If you don't hit the right narrative with your audience, you can't effectively scale your advertising efforts. And the graph below right here essentially shows why. You can see we have a figure one, which is a message that doesn't resonate with the wavelengths as our audience doesn't essentially, it, a message with the wrong wavelength achieves no resonance with the market, as you can see here, but a message with the same wavelengths as your customer will result in resonance. When you have a narrative in your advertising that resonates on the same frequency as your target audience, and you have validated your problem solution fit and product market fit, you can focus on scaling your advertising efforts. A real life example of this theory is the company Kuffer, which is a Danish brand. A client of mine owned by a Danish entrepreneur called Henrik Drebold, whom I help with exactly this process. In this video below, or in the videos below, you will gain an in-depth understanding of how we used the blue ocean strategy and the product market fit 2.0 model to attract an untapped market segment and develop a narrative that resonated with our target audience. The first video is called Profit from First Time Customers. Here's how you do it. And this shows you how we essentially leverage the blue ocean strategy and the product market fit 2.0. And this is a bit or more of a formal case study that is called The Secret to Building a Paid Ad System. And this essentially also breaks down a bit longer video, but it goes in depth into how we could exactly do, or how I could exactly do that for this client of mine. And the reason why this is foundational for your success as an e-commerce business is because you need to improve efficiency in order to outperform your competitors. Being more efficient than your competitors allows you to scale your volume and profitability in a shorter time, thereby taking their market share. So that's the part number one of this core thesis. Part number two of this thesis is gaining an unfair competitive advantage. And this is where we are going to talk about what I call code-friendly offers. Because in order for us as an e-commerce business to profit from first-time buyers and purchasers and achieve escape velocity, we need to have a competitive advantage so we have an edge over our competitors. In 9 out of 10 cases, it's simply not enough to have better advertising than your competitors if you're selling the same product at a similar price point and appealing to the same target audience. Therefore, we need to craft what I call a code-friendly offer with my SOP for specifically that, which in practical terms means that we essentially have to develop an offer that is tailored for cold traffic, because it's essential for us to do that, because over time as an advertiser, we will increasingly advertise our products to target markets and target market segments that are more and more unaware. And if you look at this graph, we have 5 levels of awareness, and that is universal for every single market. We have five stages, which is most aware, product aware, solution, problem, and unaware. And when we as an advertiser begin our marketing efforts, we will initially reach the most aware market segment, which corresponds to about 3% of the total addressable market. And that's also why when you have a low level of spend, you have a higher ROAS. But when you spend a lot of money on paid advertising, your ROAS essentially decreases, but you're overall net more profitable because you reach more and more unaware people. So from there, we will essentially market our products to segments that are progressively less interested and aware. Therefore, we need to have an offer that can appeal to those market segments. And you have to think of it as penetrating up. So when you just start, you're reaching most aware, and then you reach product aware as you progress and scale. So you have to essentially penetrate your advertising efforts up the level of awareness. Now, here's my free resources for essentially building a code-friendly offer. I have a Google Drive that says the unfair advantage that allows the top 1% of some brands to scale the offers to 1,000 buyers a week and capture your market share through paid ads. That goes over how you essentially build step by step a code-friendly offer that you can use in your advertising methods. I also have a YouTube video explaining it a bit more in depth here. And it's called Unfair Advantage, that allows the top 1% of e-commerce stores to scale via paid advertising. That shows you a bit more in depth how I do it as well. But here's the overall framework outlined. Step number 1, find your audience mass desire. Step number 2, align your product's benefits and your audience mass desire so they can see by purchasing your product, they fulfill their mass desire. Step number 3, understand your market. Step number 4, craft your offer. Furthermore, here are the benefits of having a code-friendly offer beyond it's suitable for cold traffic. First and foremost, You can long-term reduce your customer acquisition cost. You can drastically increase conversions with a few but critical changes, and you can scale your ad budget with front-end profitability instead of relying on lifetime value. And lastly, your competitors will not be able to copy you as they fundamentally don't understand the success behind your offers. Examples and explanations of cold-friendly offers that I essentially have helped my clients craft and performs really well front end and are profitable at scale is these two offers that we are going to go over right now. First and foremost, we have a client of mine called Salam Nutritionals, a brand in America selling halal vitamins and basically selling supplements, which is a really difficult market. Supplements in America is super saturated and skipped and sophisticated. But in this case, we crafted a bundle with our hero product, which is the prenatal vitamins, and we call it halal prenatal bundle. With the prenatals, the vitamins, the omega 3 fish oil, and the following offer have performed profitable in our advertising efforts as at scale. And here's a breakdown of why this specific offer worked. First and foremost, we leverage our target audience mass desire, which in this case is a healthy pregnancy journey and childbirth, ensuring that their newborn baby get the best start in life. And that's essentially reproduction that we are talking into, which is universal for every single human being, myself and you watching this. And then we have an all-in-one solution for Muslim American women who need essential nutrient for a pregnancy. And you can see it's not only the hero product, but we have bundled in the vitamin and the omega 3 fish oil that we know they need, and then high perceived value from our core audience who cannot compare this specific bundle to other solutions on the market, meaning that we are the only viable option. Then we have a client of mine here in Denmark called Flisebørsen. They sell tiles, and what we did was made an offer that we call product samples, where you as a potential customer can get 2 product samples of the specific tile you desire for a really low fee. And the following offer have helped us penetrate a more unaware stage of potential customers, increase volume of orders, boost overall profitability of our webshop, and act as an ad liquidation tool to essentially help us scale our advertising budget. Here's a breakdown of why this specific offer helped us achieve exactly that. First and foremost, high perceived value and low friction from the potential customer. We give new potential customers the opportunity to receive a sample instead of having to place an order, for example, of 10,000 Danish kroner on the first purchase with us, where we essentially also use this specific offer to build trust and ensure they make the right tile choice. And secondly, it's suitable for cold traffic, as those further down the awareness funnel will convert regardlessly into a real order after going through the entire customer journey. This offer is where new potential customers begin their buying journey, which is why we have tailored our creatives as well to talk to a more unaware stage. Um, yeah, essentially. And additionally, you can also watch this YouTube video, which breaks down the funnel that I have crafted for this client and how we have positioned our offer. And the video is called Secrets to Building a Profitable and Unstoppable Funnel on Meta, and a live breakdown of how we have done exactly that. A great video to watch as well. Now, that was actually part number 2, which is all about crafting the code-friendly offer that we can use to penetrate up the levels of awareness.